You're a lot shorter than Domas. I hate to break it to you, but
Just a little bit.
Malik was talking about how this was a stretch would be kind of like training camp again, with so much practice time. They were talking about maybe looking at more of the fundamentals. How do you just kind of look at this stretch for you guys?
It just gives us the time to get on the floor and clean up some things. And also, during the year, because you don't have much time to get together as a group and all you're doing is showing film, it gives you a chance to go through some stuff. Even if you're not, quote unquote, poor in this area, it gives you a chance to clean it up. Like today, we worked a little bit on post defense. We haven't talked about post defense in forever, but it's just an opportunity to revisit it, because we have some time. And so as coaches, hopefully we're picking out the right things to go back and revisit. First of all, we're working on the things that we're weak in on both sides of the floor. But then on top of that, we're picking out some things that we need to revisit right now because we have the time.
How do you just evaluate? I mean, right now you're 23 or 4. You guys have experienced a lot in this early season. Do you like where you guys are at as a whole overall, and just kind of assess maybe the ups and downs you've had?
I like the adversity that we're going through, because if at the end of the day we can't handle this, then we weren't good enough anyway, in my opinion. I've been to 6 finals with 3 different teams, once as a head coach. And during the course of the season, I've never not experienced adversity that we had to figure out, because come playoff time, you will run into some. So during the course of the season, to be able to figure it out, find ways to get through it together will only help you in the long run. So I like all that. I wish we probably had a couple more wins, though, at this point in time. But there's still plenty of basketball with as good as we are as a team to dig our way out of where we're at right now.
Speaking of figuring it out, Mike, over the last 4 games, 3-1, but holding teams to 107 points per game, 35% from the three-point line. Defensively, is something starting to click? Or Domas brought up the fact that making shots now allows you to set up more of a half-court defense instead of transition defense. What have you noticed defensively over the last 4 games?
Yeah, a combination of a lot of things. Yes, making shots, but that's not the only reason why our defense is where it is right now. Our guys are doing a better job at the things that we're preaching. And I said this 1 or 2 games ago, we re-emphasized how we want to close out the shooters. And when we did that 2 or 3 games ago, our defensive percentages, especially from the three-point line, have gotten a lot better. And it's not just because we said it, but it's because our guys have started embracing it and taking it to heart on the floor. So defensively, offensively, we're doing better in a lot of areas now than what we were before. But I'm not just putting it on the guys. Also with me, there's a comfort level and an understanding of what I need to do to be able to help these guys on both ends of the floor. But having said that, we're still making mistakes as a staff, and I got to work my tail off to make sure that I keep trying to put them in the best position possible. This year, I've stayed here later this year after games than I have combined years 1 and 2, because I got to make sure that obviously work breeds confidence. If I'm saying that, I got to do what I believe in. And so I have to make sure I'm busting my ass to make sure I'm on point and helping these guys. And I said it in the preseason. I didn't. I kind of threw them out there and let them figure it out. Early in the season, I played DeMar in 3 stints. And every time the second stint came around and he was balling, I kept him on the floor. And then I punched myself in the gut afterwards because I looked at the stat sheet and he was up to 43 minutes in a regular game. So I needed to make adjustments, not just rotation-wise, defensively and offensively, and it still needs to happen, but there's a better feel starting with me, which means it's going to translate to the players being more comfortable out there too. But that doesn't excuse them from doing their job every single night for 48 minutes.
Mike, didn't see Malik or DeMar on the floor today. Any issues with them in their participation today?
It's precautionary. Like if we played in a game today, they could play.
What do they do? What are they dealing with?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Shannon, why is DeMar and Malik out? They want to know. Oh, God, dog it.
Mike, it's a
God, man, I'm sorry.
Save that
If I-
audio.
if I break.
Yeah, that's all I know too. We had a
Okay.
game today, they would absolutely.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Yeah.
Playing in gaps is one of those details you guys have been emphasizing defensively. Do you mind outlining just kind of what you're looking for there and the importance of it?
Yeah, so, last year, one of the areas that we were really weak at is protecting the paint. Teams drove at us at a pretty high clip. And so we call it shifting. So we're trying to do a better job of shifting to help protect the on-ball defender. It's hard in this league for anybody to guard the ball one-on-one. And so our shifts have to be better, but they have to be active. I can't just stand there like this and then let them throw it to the corner and think I'm going to get to the corner and close out. I also have to know when I'm shifting, and I'm shifting with a sense of urgency while being big, I got to know who I'm closing out to. I can't just blindly run out there and leave my feet if this guy is not a hot shooter, and there are not many hot shooters out there. I got to still close to his body, but it's not one guy guarding the ball, it's 5 guys guarding the ball on a string. So every time that ball moves, we should all be moving, talking, and adjusting, knowing that when it moves again, we should all be moving, talking, and adjusting, but trying to take away the dribble drive to the rim, which we were poor in last year.
Going back to the Utah game, what stood out to you about Keegan's defense on Lowry in that game?
He played with a sense of physicality while trying not to foul, which is tough because Lowry is an all-star. And, a lot of people don't give this young man a lot of credit because they've seen Keegan do it at a high level now for a while. But I thought when he got in foul trouble and we threw Kobe out there, Kobe brought a level of physicality, even though he was 4, 5, 6 inches shorter than Lowry. And again, not going to stop him, but you just got to make him work while trying to make him feel you the whole time. And Kobe did a fantastic job with it. So both of those guys did a great job with it at the point of attack, but they had a lot of support behind them, and our guys did a fantastic job trying to stick with the game plan and slow them down.
Mike, you've always been a workaholic. One of those nights when you're staying late and breaking film down, are you having moments when you find answers that weren't there?
With what?
Do you find answers late at night when you put the extra work in? Like, I wonder how much of it is that versus you just trying to get the energy out?
There are always answers or better answers, and I know for me, I need quiet and be by myself, and it's no better place than to do that after a game here. And again, I am a firm believer that the work breeds confidence, and I keep telling that to our guys. I tell it to you guys. I tell that to a lot of people, and so I have to make sure that whenever I say something, I'm doing it too, because as a leader, I can't just point the finger, or run away from my responsibilities of me not doing the right thing, For instance, we played in San Antonio, and it was at the end of a quarter. I can't remember if it was at the end of the second quarter, in the third quarter, not the end of the fourth quarter, but the ball gets knocked out of bounds, and we had the ball gets knocked out of bounds, and starting with myself, we're yelling at the referees about, it's our ball. And then it snapped in me, but it snapped too late. I can't worry about the frickin' referees. I should have gotten DeMar off the floor with a defensive substitution. And that moment passed, and I'm like, God, talk it. And again, it starts with me. But I turned and told all my coaches, guys, we got 15 coaches here, and every one of us are freaking yelling, hey, it's our ball, it's our ball. Get DeMar off the floor. There's 8 seconds to go. All it is going to be a defensive possession for us. Get him off the floor, A, so he can get his rest early, and B, so they don't put him in an action to where possibly he picks up a foul. Simple as that. So a lot of things that I see that I can do better, that we could do better as a staff, starting with me, but the players have to do their job as well.
Mike, is there any truth at all to a gap being too long or a pause being too long? It seems like you guys had good momentum, we're figuring things out, and now you're only playing one game over like 8 or 9 days or something like that. Is it good? I know it's good to have the practice time, but can the break be too long in the middle of the season?
It's one of those things, Manny, where it is what it is, and we got to figure out a way to bring it. I mean, this is what we get paid to win, and it doesn't matter what the circumstance is in front of us. If we can control it, then I'd rather control it by maybe having a couple of days in the game. I don't know at the end of the day, but it is what it is, and so we have to try to be smart with it, and we have to try to get something out of it during this time, and then go lace them up when our numbers call.
Couple more.
Kevin's been playing 2 12-minute stretches these last 4 games. How comfortable are you with that sort of being his spot after trying to figure it out a little bit at the beginning of this year?
Real comfortable, and it's a matter of can he play at a high level, because we want everybody to exert a lot of energy, and so can you exert that energy at a high level for 12 straight minutes, which is a long time, and he's shown the last couple of games that he can do it. We have to be ready to throw somebody out on that floor, though, to sub for him in case his play falls off at all. Whether he's tired or he's picked up foul trouble or whatever it is. But and then I go back to that's why, hey, there's only going to be so many minutes, because I want to try to get Kevin out there for that period if possible. But it may not always happen, but when it does, then there's less minutes for everybody else, So we got to keep trying to figure it out, but the 5 guys that are starting, they're going to play their 35 to 36. Kevin's going to play his 20, hopefully around 24, sometimes maybe a little longer. Domas is going to have a backup that's going to play at least 12 to 14 minutes a game, and then there's not much more left after that. But guys have to be ready to fill in the gaps whenever is needed.
Anything else?
The 2-man game with Monk being in the lineup and him and Domas, the way they work in the pick and roll together. What are you seeing there, and how beneficial has that been for what you guys are doing on offense?
It's huge, because those guys are real. That's a high level 2-man game. In my opinion, it all starts with Malik's pace, in his change of pace. He goes quick to slow, slow to quick, and that's what kind of gets defenses jumping initially. And then Domas is so good at either setting it and getting out or slipping it, and so that rhythm that's not always constant, especially with the floor open and it happening in transition, gives us an advantage. And so it's about the rhythm, about the pace, and about the abilities of both guys mixing up different things, because Malik can finish with the layup, he can finish with a floater, he can finish with the pocket, or he can finish with the spray, and so it makes it a dangerous combination when those guys are playing that 2-man game in flow and right away.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.